It was an interesting topic on League Sunday because Neil McManus and Anthony Daly started off talking about maybe an issue at centre-back, and Richie Reid was taken off early enough from the centre-back slot. And then for a finish, they were talking about a luxury of options back there, Daly, I think, said. And I just wonder, do Kilkenny, and you can extend this to Tipperary as well. They've tried Robert Byrne there. They've tried Brian McGrath there. I'm not entirely sure Tip have their answer at 6, or maybe it's just going to be Brian O'Mara, maybe even Barry Heffernan. So there are options there. Now, on the Kilkenny side of things, right, the ones that seem to be talked about are Mikey Carey, Paddy Deegan, Richie Reid. Now, maybe you'll come up with another option as well. But the three of them were in the half-back line in the 2022 All-Ireland, when, of course, the half-back line got absolutely annihilated by Limerick, and especially on the puckouts. And I would say that Brian Cody's setup that day, more or less, on puckouts, handed the All-Ireland to Limerick, because otherwise I thought Kilkenny were brilliant. What do you think of the centre-back slot for Kilkenny, and I suppose more broadly for other teams?
So, yeah, a lot of teams now have really good hurlers at centre-back, I think, whereas there's a big difference between being a really good hurler and a really good defender. So,
but
like, say, for example,
now, because teams are finding they're having to press up out around midfield and leave mano a mano at the back. So now being a really good hurler at centre-back isn't enough.
So that's what I'm saying. You need a defender at 6, like you just do now, because people have kind of out-thought a lot of systems and know to run, and everyone's so athletic. They run and carry and, deliver the ball from different areas. So you can't be like kind of that sweeper going side to side anymore. You have to be a defender. So I think I would probably go with Paddy Deegan at centre-back, and then have your speedsters and hurlers alongside him. So like maybe Mikey Carey and Richie Reid at 5 and 7. And then, no, that day in 2022.
Yeah, 2022 though.
I know. So that I was just going to say, so that day, I thought, like, you're sitting behind the goal watching it. When I was watching it that day, there was way too much space in front of them, and they were getting pulled and dragged everywhere. And then they didn't know to stick or twist to run with the lad that was crossing, or to hold their position, and they just got torn apart that day, right? And they were just getting pulled and dragged everywhere. So with a smarter setup, I think, but it's a hard one, because you have to have a defender at 6, I think, especially when you have somebody as good as, like, the full back line. I think is fairly solid and probably sorted there, where it's Hugh Lawler and Tommy Walsh and Mikey Butler either side of them, and you're kind of going, yeah, look, that's as good as a full back line as can you have at the minute, and you're going to get 2 good man markers that hold their lads down, and then Mikey Butler actually is a threat going forward now as well, and then you have Hugh Lawler, top 2 best full backs in the country, top 3, whatever you might have, right? It could be tossed between the 3 of them, but then I'd love to see Mikey Carey as 5, I suppose, because again, it's an attacking option, kind of the way O'Loughlin's were playing, where you can burst forward and you put pressure on the wing forward to stop him, as well as he's a great hurler. But I think Deegan at 6, he's as tough as nails. He's a bit of a nasty streak in him, which what you need, and yeah, just let him go from there. Now, he was good yesterday from centre forward, but he was dropping back a lot and all that. But I think the luxury of having somebody like Richie Reid, where he's floating around and he does his best hurling, winning breaks off the full back line, and picking up ball, because he's such a great hurler, and delivering it long kind of off his left side and this and that. I think you need somebody there marking, defending, holding the middle, and running the show from there. But not easy come by, because of the way hurling has evolved. Defensive skills are kind of nearly going out of the game with a lot of teams, a lot of underage lads especially.
Derek Ling was saying afterwards, we're trying to find our best 15, our best panel. We need to find out who's going to be there come championship. Could you pick the team? And in terms of like forwards sticking their hand up this year, we saw Grode Dunn and Timmy Clifford come off the bench along with John Donnelly yesterday. They were the only 3 subs used. Are there lads putting their hand up, do you feel?
Yeah. Shane Murphy, big time. I think it could be there. So, like, if one of them lads in the half back line isn't the half back line, they could go, like, let's say you have Shane Murphy, or sorry, you could go Richie Reid, Paddy Deegan, Shane Murphy.
What about David Lansfield?
And then, see, this is the thing, right? So it could be between, there's 3 or 4 lads there you could rotate in and out, but Mikey Carey can go to midfield. I don't know about Shane Murphy going to midfield. I suppose Paddy Deegan could go to midfield, but I prefer to see him centre back. Like, look how good he was at O'Loughlin's. Like, he was absolutely brilliant centre back at O'Loughlin's. I think just put him centre back, and maybe you could have Richie Reid, Mikey Carey midfield, with Blanchfield Deegan, Shane Murphy maybe as the half backline. So it just depends. It depends what way it goes because Croke Park is very different than Ennis as well, where a lot of teams. It'd be very interesting to see how the Leinster Championship goes, especially against Wexford, because Wexford won't be pumping high ball down and pumping high ball down. I couldn't imagine on the Kilkenny half backline. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. So there's a lot of places there between the midfielder and half backline. A lot of lads that can play in each position. So it's just a matter of Derek Ling then finding right. But I always thought when you're building the team, look, you put the best backs in the backs, and then you let the forwards kind of pick themselves. Because how many times you've seen with club teams or whatever saying the forwards are too soft, so they put their best centre back up, centre forward. We needed a hardness up there, and then you're taking out a scorer, and then the first sub off is the corner forward. So I I think I just think build your best half back line. I think the full back line is set enough. Obviously, on Murphy being goal, and then let the team from midfield up pick itself, depending on training. But John Donnelly definitely put his hand up yesterday. Could have came off the field with 2-2 from play, and he was only on for about 20 minutes. So it's an interesting team to pick, like because some of the under 20s still that won the All Ireland, let's say, still probably haven't made the jump up yet, which is totally understandable. I mean, if you're still only 22, you're you're just not as physically developed or as strong or as hard nosed as even Owen Cody, Adrian Mullen, and these guys that have been on the go for about 6 years now, 6, 7 years now.
Yeah, no, I'd agree that Paddy Deegan is definitely in the top six backs for Kilkenny. And it probably more speaks to, I suppose, Derek Ling looking for ball winners in the forward line, like you had said there. So it's kind of interesting no matter what way you want to look at it.